Good tidings, everybody. Welcome to the Ansem Report podcast. This is episode number 27 of season 2 of the longest running, I don't care what anybody tells you, it is the longest running, not your daddy's Kingdom Hearts podcast, all right? This ain't the shit your daddy was listening to. I'm Mike, and with me as always is my brother, Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hello.
And together we are those damn podcasters. That's who we are. Jason, how you doing, dude?
Yeah? Dude, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like I've been having a nice little relaxing time. I haven't really been super busy as much because I haven't had to work. And I've just been able to like be a normal human being again. Because I was kind of just wake up, work, sleep for like a couple weeks, like 3-4 weeks. So yeah, it's just nice to be a normal human being and not constantly worry about it.
A human being.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you I've been a normal human being, but that would be a lie.
Well, I guess normal isn't the right term. Because like yesterday, sat down on my computer at like, I don't know, like noon or something. I did nothing but sit on my computer till like 2 in-the-morning, so I don't know if it's normal.
Yeah, that's a normal Jason bean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normal for you. Yeah, I've been a little under the weather actually the last couple days, which sucks because it's like my 2 days off from work and I felt like shit. So
yeah,
you know how it goes. Would I rather get paid to feel like shit? Probably.
Yeah.
But it was pretty rough. It's some kind of cold or something I got from people at work, and head was congested, body was sore. Not COVID though. I took a COVID test, which if you haven't taken a COVID test in a couple weeks, let me remind you, it sucks. You got to shove that big fucking Q-tip up your nose and spin it. Ugh, the last one I freaked myself and sneezed. And then I sneezed all over my. Oh
yeah. When Mike sneezes, he sneezes in bursts. It's like a 3-round burst assault rifle in Call of Duty, dude. It's like
I don't sneeze often, but when I do, it's like that, and I usually cause some sort of muscle pain to myself because my body tenses up so hard.
You convulse, yeah.
Yeah, so like I often have really sore like forearms afterwards. But actually, a different sneeze story I have for you. I was in my kitchen. And I was cooking dinner for Tara, and I just suddenly had to sneeze, as one does. And
yeah.
I just, in the middle of the kitchen, I set things down because I knew it was coming, and I didn't have enough time to do anything else about it.
Yeah.
I think I had like a spatula in my hand or something. And I sneezed 3 times. Okay.
Yep.
Which, normal, like he said, assault rifle, 3-round bursts.
Like a FAMAS in Modern Warfare 2,
Basically, yeah. But then, in rhythm, I farted 3 times. Okay.
Yo, dude. It's like when you get a perk in like Vampire Survivors or like one of those games where it's like you get to shoot forward and backward now.
Right. So I don't know how many people have ever sneezed and farted at the same time. Have you done this?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. It's pretty involuntary.
It's a strange feeling, right? Because normally when you fart, regardless if you want to or not, it is a controlled thing. Your sphincter tightens.
Typically, yeah.
You're squeezing it out slowly. You're never just... You know what I mean?
I like how you're describing how to fart.
It's the truth, though, right? Like, you have... subconsciously, even, you have some sort of control over it.
Yeah,
this is just loose.
Yeah,
okay?
It really is.
And it was not just 1 fart, but 3 farts. And in time with my sneezes. So it felt so strange. I felt like, in Super Mario World, when you get the balloon.
Okay, yeah.
And Mario turns into the balloon. You know what I'm talking about? His body like swells.
Yeah.
It was like that, but it was starting to all come out of all ends. Like I popped on both sides. And it was the strangest feeling. And I feel like I've talked to a couple people about it, including you now, and no one has been like, "Oh yeah, I've done that."
Dude, they're bullshitting, dude. I feel like it's
No. I don't mean just 1 fart and a sneeze, because I think everybody's done that. But this was like 3 timed like that.
I think it's just because you sneeze in threes.
So you think I'm the only person in the world to experience this?
Possibly. I've never seen anybody ever in my life sneeze in threes like Mike does.
I want to hear from you.
Like, guys,
at
it's
home.
not like a chew. It's like, like it's like
it's been a problem for me my whole life, sneezing that way. I just, for whatever, I don't sneeze often, but it's like, almost like it builds
little,
up.
it would like kind of scare me.
Yeah,
it
like scares
4.
Tara. Tara thinks I'm dying every time I do it. And she was really frightened by the fart sneeze combo.
Yeah. Like that might be like a death roll, where it's like
if I had to
die.
shit, I would have shit my pants. I had no control. It was terrifying. Like
I've had it where I just did one because I don't sneeze in bursts.
Right. But it's like, you can't keep your eyes open when you sneeze. You just can't. You can't keep your sphincter closed either. And it was just and it was just a terrifying situation. But I want to hear from you guys at home. Have you ever sneezed and farted in succession multiple times? My guess is not. And also, before anybody says it, my favorite Ansem Report podcast is where Mike talked about sneezing and farting for a long time. Anyway, if you guys couldn't tell, we don't actually have a lot of Kingdom Hearts stuff to talk about this week because I was saying this to Jason off air before we started, but this is the worst off we've been for Kingdom Hearts news in a long time, and that is saying something.
Yeah.
Right? Normally there's some little like funny Twitter thing that happened, or there's a Game Rant article, or there's just something silly that's happened that we have to talk about. Like Water Cage made a mod, Regular Pat did a thing, HMK and Gamers Joint did things that we don't like. There's normally something. There ain't shit. There ain't shit right now. It's just
Mike, we could talk about March Caprice. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
there's nothing. There's
March
nothing.
Caprice got announced. Cool. All right. We love March Caprice, but
in our absence.
Like, what else do we have to say about it? We love March Caprice.
You already know where to talk about it a ton, but yeah. Right.
Well, honestly, we need to not talk about March Caprice because I actually got multiple like comments and like people writing in, so to speak, to say, "Hey, have you guys talked about March Caprice enough?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess you don't like positivity, you fuck."
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we are kind of we're kind of in the biggest Kingdom Hearts drought that I have ever witnessed since we've started this podcast. What was it? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? It's 2018, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So it's been, in January, it will be 4 years, 5 years, starting 5 years. So it'll be 4 years completed, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, actually.
Makes me feel very weird in a good way.
It's crazy to think about for sure. I feel like for me as a person, I don't think I've really ever had anything that I like consistently did besides like a job, right? That like I was like consistently doing like every single week for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, and we haven't always hit that every single week, but
pretty much, yeah.
We're pretty damn close, It's crazy.
Like so many things change around us in our life and shit, but it's just like, Ansem Report?
It's a constant.
Sheesh.
I've had relationships that I don't think you've had a relationship that's lasted half as long as our podcast.
Okay, I had one that was half as long, okay, dude. It was half as long. It was average sized.
Okay, all right. Hey, it's okay, man. You're an independent soul. There's nothing wrong with that.
I can't be tied down.
He can't be tamed,
That's
ladies.
That's what it is.
And gentlemen, he cannot be tamed. You can't do it. But yeah, so we sat around for about 45 minutes going, what do we talk about? Because despite what I say and what you guys might think, there is some planning that goes into this show. We do have topics that we want to discuss typically, or I have something in my head that I want to rant about and I don't tell Jason and then I spring it at him during the recording. We don't have any of that today. I didn't plan on telling my sneeze shit story, but that we somehow got there in the first 5 minutes. So The Kingdom Hearts. Jason, I guess one thing we did talk about, and I don't know that we really have a lot to say about it right now, but I've seen a lot of sentiment around the internet, which is a dangerous place to pull sentiment from. But I've seen a lot of people saying, "Where's Missing Link?" And I don't know. I take a little bit of, not a beef, but a little bit of. I just don't. I think that's a weird thing to say.
You roll your eyes a bit.
Yeah, I might roll my eyes at that, and that's because they said there will be a closed beta by the end of the year. And for one, it hasn't been the end of the year yet. 2, it's a closed beta, so we don't know if it's happening right now or not. And 3, these are the same people that told us Dark Road was coming out in September of like last year. Okay, so if you guys are sitting there going, "Where's Missing Link?" I'm sorry, like I have no sympathy for you. You have fallen again.
Even Kingdom Hearts 3 was delayed.
You have fallen again into the Nomura trap. I'm so sorry for you, but I'm not, because you should know better at this point. This is what they do. They say, "Hey, it's coming soon, I promise." And then by the time it actually comes, you feel like you haven't actually waited as long as you have, because they told you it was coming soon, but then it didn't. And so that's kind of where we're at, I think, for Missing Link. And I didn't, if you were expecting to play this game this year, you're insane.
To fully play it,
or just in general, even if you were expecting to be part of the closed beta, you're insane. A closed beta does not entitle you to anything. You know what I mean? Like
the closed beta term is like has been kind of ruined by like mainstream games, because it's like the Call of Duty closed beta. The only thing you have to do is actually just pre-order the game. Like you don't even need any type of special version.
Right. It's a scam.
Pre-order the game.
It's a scam because they go, "Hey, it's a closed beta," when really you're doing work for them by testing it, right? And then they make you buy the game to do it, just to drum up pre-sales, right? And
it's smart. If I was a game developer, I 100% do it.
The risk they run is that the game is really shit, right? And then people play it, and then they cancel their pre-order.
Well, and if you have like an online infrastructure, you could kind of get like a head count, or like, if in the beta pre-order phase type thing, you're struggling, you got a couple of days to get it going.
Yeah, but here's the other thing though, Jay, is, and you and our good friend Swirls, shout out to Swirls Barkley, who had his birthday recently. You guys are a testament to this. The game, it doesn't have to be that good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
especially now. Like, I would say, like, if you asked me, like, in 2019, like, how the game was, be like, it's the biggest piece of dog shit. Like this game is so trash, right? But the games in 2020 and 2021 were just so bad.
Right.
Like, even to this day, they're still bad. Like, Halo Infinite, Battlefield 2042. Like, there's so many games that are just, like, coming out in just such terrible states.
Especially in that multiplayer shooter genre, right?
Yeah.
Because they've been doing the closed betas and the shit like that, and then you get them, and the people that are going to play it are going to play it. It doesn't matter if it's like super shit or not. You know what I mean? Like, like there are people that are still playing Halo Infinite. Not a lot, but there are people that are still playing Halo Infinite.
Not really.
And going, "This game's going to be good someday," The real big Microsoft fanboys. But
it's actually shocking how little people are playing Halo Infinite.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there. But anyway, I don't want to have a first-person shooter discussion because that is not our audience. But I'm just saying the idea of a closed beta has been kind of perverted by the way those kind of games do it, where they just say it's a closed beta, but really it's early access, right? Really, it's early access, but that has like a negative stigma to it, so they don't call it that. They call it a closed. They go.
Sometimes they double dip. Sometimes they just say, "Screw it, it's an early access closed beta."
Right. Well, and they go, "It's a closed beta. It's exclusive." Right.
That is exclusive. It is exclusive.
You're gonna get held behind the what's the word I want? Velvet. You're gonna get held behind the velvet rope. You know what I mean? If you don't pre-order the game, you're not going to be part of this. You're going to have FOMO.
And it adds another thing to the version of the game, right? Like you have the normal standard edition, and then like the only check mark under it is like access to the game.
Right.
And then there's
exactly.
like the deluxe version. It's like access to the exclusive closed beta. Check. It's another check mark for him, baby.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Some kind of cosmetic. Check.
It's crazy how this is a whole different topic, but it's crazy how like video games and all kinds of like media use the fear of missing out as like a
dude.
a marketing
I think
tool.
getting sick of it.
Well, there's this whole Taylor Swift fiasco with Ticketmaster, right? Have you heard about this?
Yeah. A little bit, not any details.
So
but.
this is how I understand it, and I could be wrong, but I'm getting it from Tara secondhand. But she's a big Taylor Swift fan, and
so blame Tara if it's wrong.
Right. And her and her sisters were basically, the way it works is you sign up for a presale, and you get a code for a presale. You sign up for presale for specific shows, and she's playing multiple shows in multiple places to try and like beat demand and all that. And Harry Styles did the same thing, and nobody in her group got a presale code, so they just couldn't access the presale. So then their next option is to when the tickets actually go on sale to get those. Well, what happened is they gave out so many presale codes that they canceled the regular sale.
Wow, it's sold out in presale.
It's sold out in presale. And then you throw in the fact that Ticketmaster is just an absolute monopoly on this ticket thing. Yeah. And so even if she would have gotten it, she would have been paying like $500, $600 for not good seats to a concert because they move up the prices based on demand.
That's true.
And it's so people can't scalp them, but that's not helping the people buying the tickets. It's just helping them so they don't lose money out on the scalping.
On the scalping. They're scalping themselves, yeah.
Right. So it's a really fucked up situation. But Tara, through all that, you know what I mean? You think she'd just go, I don't want to see Taylor Swift now. But she's still just, the fear of missing out is like, because it's like the Harry Styles thing. Like she went and saw him. And there's just like this TikTok culture with him where every night someone's posting TikToks of a funny thing he did on stage tonight, right?
Yeah.
And that's Taylor Swift's going to be a similar thing. And so she's sitting there like, oh man, I'm not going to go get to see it, right?
I feel like that's a difference between like mainstream media and video games, though.
Well, what do you mean?
It's like, I feel like fear of missing out has been abused for so long in video games. Whereas I feel like I definitely think like TikTok has definitely pushed the fear of missing out for like concerts and stuff.
Oh, for sure. Well, even the Coheed Cruise got announced, and the lineup is terrible, like absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And her and I talked about it, and we were like, we're not going to do this. Like,
yeah.
If it was the first,
I was gonna say no if you asked,
right?
Like straight up.
If it was the first Coheed Cruise, right, I might go okay. Because then it's like about the experience. But now I've had the experience with a way better lineup. And so I'm like, why would I go to this, right?
Yeah, it's like lose-lose, yeah.
Also, it's going to be way more sold out because COVID isn't really a thing anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So
it was still pretty packed.
Her and I talked about it, and we said, you know what, we're not going to do this. Maybe we'll go to Disney World instead. We'll go to Reconnect. We'll do all this stuff.
Right.
And I came home a week later, and I got a pretty large bonus at work. Basically, the guy who used to own my company sold it, and as a nice like farewell, he said, "Hey, you worked for me for 15 years. I really appreciate it. Here's this bonus." And it was a sizable bonus, right?
Nice.
Enough that could have covered both our cruise tickets. And she said, "So we're going on the cruise, right?" And I said, "Tara, I could have $1 million. I'm not going on that cruise." But it's just all about that fear of missing out, right? She was like, "Oh, yeah. I want to do it because I see all these people talking about it." And I'm not trying to like clown on Tara here, like
no, not at all.
But because I have things that I have that fear of missing. Like I bought the fucking new God of War because I'm seeing a bunch of people talk about it, but I don't have time to play that. But I literally spent $60 on a game I could have waited and probably got for 40 or 30 if I waited a couple months, 6 months, something like that. For sure. And now it's just going to sit on my hard drive till I decide to play it because I was like, oh, I want to be part of the discussion. But I just don't have time to do that right now. And so it's like the fear of missing out is a serious thing. Anyway, missing link.
Well, and it's also like spoilers too, right? Because everybody wants to post about the thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I want to post about this and go viral or something,
here's the part where Kratos stuck his axe up that goblin's asshole and split him to his head. Yo!
Yeah, it's like...
Just kidding. I don't think that happens in the game.
I don't know a single thing about God of War.
I don't know a single thing about the new one. I've been avoiding spoilers.
Boy.
Yeah, he says boy a lot.
And also, I know that both Kratos and Atreus were freaking nominated for Best Voice Acting in the Game Awards. And I think it's BS that a game can have two actors in the same game get nominated. It's BS. You're telling me there's not one other actor from one other game?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It happened last year with The Last of Us. And I was triggered then, and I'm triggered now.
Yeah, that's a little weird. It's a little weird. But yeah, so there's the FOMO thing and the spoilers thing. And so, like, I feel like, though, if you have FOMO with Missing Link, you're gonna be pretty disappointed, because it's, to me, they're using closed beta in the typical sense, the more normal sense, where it's just going to be only a small amount of players have it. And I wouldn't be even surprised if that meant just in Japan, right?
Yeah.
And then
that's definitely a Square Enix thing too.
They signed some sort of NDA that they can't talk about it, but Japan is like a perfect place to like test. Well, it's not the perfect place, but it's a perfect place to test a game like that and have it go smoothly, because Japan is so wired internet-wise.
It's much smaller, yeah.
Like if you get someone in Nebraska, shout out to Jip, playing Missing Link, I don't know if it's going to go as well, because they're not as
Damo's going to be walking around in the fucking outback, like,
right.
Like, where's the bloody stop? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to do my Damo voice right now. I don't.
Now that you're sick.
Not while I'm sick. It'll sound too good. But yeah, so I don't know. Missing Link is an interesting deal. I don't really know what to expect from it. I've had numerous discussions with people like Damo and WaterKH about NFTs. I think if anything, they probably have backed off NFTs with this. Because of, at this point, I think the negative reception to them is too much for them to launch a new game with. You know? Like the only games that have done it have gone.
Especially with stuff like FTX recently,
right.
You know?
Right. The only games that have had NFTs in them have gone very poorly. There's that Ni no Kuni game that didn't even have it.
Not even necessarily exactly. Like,
but
not
they
even
said they were going to.
Went poorly, but like attacked straight up.
Right. They said they were going to have NFTs. They didn't even have it, and the game's like got tanked because of it. You know what I mean? So
it turned me off to the game.
Right.
I was like, I like MMOs. Anything that's even MMO adjacent, I like. Where it's like, oh, it's a single player game, but when you're in like the hub, you can see like other people or something, right? So I was like, oh, I might check this out. I've heard about Ni no Kuni. I've seen a little bit about it. I was gonna check it out, and then they were like, yo, NFTs, I'm out.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, so I don't think if we were worried about NFTs before, I don't think that's gonna be a thing. But I do think that that there's gonna be gacha elements. I think getting the specific like trophies the Smash Bros looking trophies are gonna be more like badges.
It'd be cool if they just steal what Marvel Snap does.
Yeah, Marvel Snap does it really well. Oh shit, are we talking about Marvel Snap?
Yeah, I guess we're talking about Marvel Snap now.
So I've been absolutely addicted to Marvel Snap.
I've been playing it a lot too.
So I heard about it. I listened to a IGN video game podcast, which I know I'm pretty critical of IGN, but I still like Game Scoop, the only video game podcast. If they kind of stole our bit with the longest running, where we know we're not the longest running, but we say they are. But they say they're the only video game podcast, but they clearly know they're not the only video game podcast, right?
These guys.
Yeah, they kind of stole our bit a little bit, which is okay. They've been a podcast for like 700 episodes, but they only recently started doing that bit. So I'm gonna say they stole it from us. But they first started talking about it, and so I got in pretty early. I think I told you guys all about it because I was like, yo, I'm playing this game Marvel Snap. It's dope. And I'd seen a couple ads for it, maybe on Facebook or something. But I'm at collection level 757.
Okay.
Which is really high.
Yeah, it is. I'm at 266, and I feel like I played it a lot.
Right. I play pretty much every night before bed and multiple times throughout the day. I'm pretty good. I wish there was a way, and maybe there is, and someone knows something I don't, to see like your win-loss record. I know that's not the point, but it would
just
be
like curious. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know what my win. Bless you.
Thank you. I did not fart for the record.
Damn it! Now I gotta keep that in. I don't know what my win-loss record is, but I do think for a game that has microtransactions, it does it in the least scummy way possible, and I really enjoy that about it. Like you can buy, you basically can't buy progression. You can a little bit, like
the tiniest way.
Like you can buy more points to upgrade your cards, but you're still bottlenecked. It makes it fair for everybody. And you can get the season pass, which will get you a card early each season pass. So like the first season was Miles Morales, and then the second season has been Black Panther because it was Wakanda themed, obviously, tying in with the movie. And so you get the Miles Morales card and the Black Panther card on the first part of the battle pass, like
guaranteed rather than it being random. Yeah.
Well, no, so those aren't in the pool yet.
Okay.
So eventually, I think it's like
I got Okoye randomly.
No. It's just the Miles Morales and the Black Panther card.
Oh, okay.
So those specific cards that come with the battle pass aren't in the pool till like I think it's a couple months after they release. So that's the only like advantage you get for buying the $10 battle pass over not. But I've been using Black Panther a lot. The Miles Morales card's dog shit. It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I've ever heard.
To explain like what I meant by I hope they steal the Marvel Snap thing. Basically in Marvel Snap, it's a card game, not super unlike like Hearthstone or any of those type of games. The
gameplay is Inscription, but without like the weird ARG and like meta narrative. Yeah. It's just you just play and there's no like roguelite element to it. You just play a one-on-one card game like you do in Inscription. Like each round of Inscription.
And the thing that I want them to steal is how the progression of the cards work. So basically, for example, if I have the Ant-Man card, when you get it at first, it's very bland. It's pretty, it looks fine,
It looks like a card.
Yeah, it's just like a normal card. But then when you level it up the first time, you get what's called the frame break. And so, for example, normally Ant-Man's part of his leg and part of his arm are like cut off by the frame because it's just a card, like it's got to end somewhere. Well, this actually extends it for whatever character it is. Like, for example, the Punisher, his gun like now goes off the card and you can actually see it and stuff. And then there's one where it becomes 3D and then it becomes like shiny. So if they did like a trophy type thing where, maybe it becomes like more animated or like slightly animated, like some of them that are animated, there's just kind of more of like a glow around them or like certain things. Like it's not like they're full on moving and doing stuff
in the
on
background.
The card.
Usually is what it is.
Yeah. For example, this Ant-Man one, the silhouette, he's basically in the middle of shrinking, it looks like, or growing, one of the two. I think shrinking. But the versions of him behind him that are showing that he's shrinking, they move around, like float and yeah. But anyway, I hope they do that in Missing Link. It would be cool. Where if you could upgrade the trophy, but just in like a cosmetic way. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I agree. It's that's one of the more addicting parts about the game. Like I really like just playing the card game and having fun, but like I'm not spending money to upgrade like how the cards look, which you can do. But then that also leads into your progression because then you unlock more like cards and different things by how much you upgrade the cards, right?
Yeah.
So there's a reason to do it outside of card looks cool, right? Which I really dig. I really dig that about it. So you'll be playing and then you'll be like, I can get one more. I can win one more or get one more.
Yeah.
And then the cards, like you can continue to like go through the whole, like for example, I have Hulk, who's a card you start with, and I've gone through the collection or gone through the upgrade twice now. So now my Hulk has this like glimmer coming off of him.
Yeah.
And then
like,
I can
similarly to how like in like Pokemon cards, you'll get like a shimmering version or like I don't know if it's called like alt art or something like that. I can't remember.
But it's also
it's like more
it's
rainbowy
cool because it's digital, so they can do like more with it, like because it's
it's
popping 3D off, right? And as opposed to like it's just shiny, right?
For sure.
So it's really cool. I really recommend Marvel Snap. It's a free game. You can play it completely free. You don't have to spend any money.
Yeah.
If you run into SpikeGhetti on there, you're going to get fucking wiped. Look out. But yeah, it's a fun game. It makes me want like a Final Fantasy or like Kingdom Hearts style card game like that.
Yeah, it would be really cool. Oh my god.
Especially if they just went Final Fantasy, but then like added in the other Square Enix properties that are adjacent, like Kingdom Hearts or like the Chrono series. That would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of Marvel Snap ripoffs are gonna be on the horizon, honestly.
Oh, for sure. Well, and it's like I feel like Square Enix in general kind of wastes their canon of characters that they have.
Yeah,
like they put them in stuff, but it's usually like shitty, like Dissidia NT, terrible game. Dissidia Opera Omni is fun, even though I haven't really touched it since Marvel Snap. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn,
I kind of only have room
That's
for
how
one
you know
mobile
Marvel
game.
Snap is good.
Yeah, because I have a pretty crazy Opera Omni account.
Mike's got like 1,000 hours in Opera Omni.
I have a lot of time in Opera Omnia, and I'll go back to it at some point. But Snap right now, it's so easy to play because it's like Hearth. I don't know if you've ever played Hearthstone.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
it's just the matches can be so long.
Yeah.
Right. And same with like Magic. Like the matches can be like 15, 20 minutes, where this is like boom, 5 minutes at most, and that's if you have someone that's taking forever to make their moves because they're an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Otherwise, it's like I can get like 10 matches in while I'm laying down to bed, you know, and it's just that snappiness, pun intended, of it that really. And we didn't even. I mean, we're not really talking about like the gameplay, but one thing that's really fun about it that I like is the snap mechanic, where like
that's true.
Basically, I can wager more rank points. Oh, it's almost like gambling or like playing poker. You go, okay, I think I got this guy.
Yeah.
I think I got this
people
guy.
Play
dead
it like
right.
poker sometimes too, straight up.
Yeah,
I'll have people try to bluff me, and I'm like, "There's literally no way you can win," and then they'll just leave.
Yeah. So the idea is you have a rank, right? You rank up, and if you win a regular match and no one snaps, it's 2 points. So if you lose 2 points. If you win 2 points. If one side snaps, it goes up to 4 points, and if both sides snap, it goes up to 8 points. So you can lose 8 rank points, which you go up a rank every 10 points. So there's
so you can almost get an entire rank.
Right. And so there's like if you knew you had someone beat and you don't snap and they don't snap and you only get 2 points out of it, it's not as cool as if both people snap and you get 8 points out of it, right? But then you can also, know, the card game can be random, and people have cards that you've never even heard of before sometimes, and they can,
especially once you get up there,
the outcome can be but it's a lot of fun. I like, even when I lose an 8, I go, oh, okay, yeah, that was on me. You know, I go, oh yeah, I should have.
Yeah, it doesn't feel terrible.
No, there's only been a couple times where I've been like, okay, that's bullshit, but it really was just me not paying attention.
Oh no, I threw.
Yeah. There was one time I threw so bad and I felt so stupid. I don't even remember what I did, but I just played the card completely wrong, and if I would have played it right, I would have destroyed, you know, one of those. And I'm like, oh, I'm such a fucking idiot. Somebody kill me.
I had one literally today where there's the Nightcrawler card, and he can teleport from one location to another.
Yep.
And through like certain buffs, he was like +7 or something. So he was like 8 power. And or no, that would have been +5, I can't remember. But anyways, I could have just moved him and won, but I like forgot.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my god, I'm so bad.
Yeah, usually when I lose, it's because they played a card I've never seen before, or I did something really dumb.
Yeah. I've been de-ranking a ton because I've been kind of trolling, trying out different things, because I have like a lot of cards that I've not really used.
There is that element of you've set something up, but then something your opponent does makes it so it doesn't matter if you finish it or not. Like you could finish like your setup. Like, for example, I have Carnage. I use a Carnage deck. So basically what Carnage does is he will eat all the cards in an area and gain +2 for every card he eats. So you set up other cards that like want to be destroyed, right?
Or have like no power really, or like
so
1 power.
I'll have like my cards set up that want to be destroyed, and then I'll go to use Carnage, but then it's like, oh, it's the last turn, and if I just play Hulk here, I know I'll win. But I really set up this whole Carnage thing.
It feels so bad, yeah. So it feels so bad. So
you either lose because you want to finish your Carnage thing, or you play Hulk and win.
Yeah.
So it's like, So you have to like fight with your, because it's like, I want to be cool and flashy.
Yeah, this is this thing I've been trying to do, and this is the reason that I made this deck.
Right.
That's what I've been doing with the T-Rex that has more
Devil
points
Dinosaur?
based on. Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
Devil Dinosaur is dope. I used to run Devil Dinosaur.
We're running Devil Dinosaur and Moon
Girl.
Moon Girl, yeah.
Moon
so
Girl.
you get 2 of them.
Yep.
And then you just insta-win 2 spots.
Well, and Devil Dinosaur gets 2 points for every card in your deck. So if you duplicate your deck with Moon Girl to make sure you have the maximum amount of cards,
yeah, you just insta-win like 2 spots.
They fit into each other. What I realized is that Morbius, he gets 2 points for every card you discard.
Yeah. I was going to try that out. I just got him, actually.
And what you can do is you use Moon Girl when her duplicating your deck is going to make you discard cards. So you can only have, isn't it 7 cards in a hand? I think it's 7.
I think it's more.
I think it's 7.
Well, I think it's 8, and then at that point you would start discarding.
All right, whatever it is. So you have 6, and then you duplicate, and then you're getting rid of 4 cards, and so that counts to Morbius's thing. Yeah, so I realized that today, and I went, oh, okay. And that's the thing about this game is there's so many like cool ways to play it.
Yeah, so basically, Missing Link.
Yeah, so Missing Link, be like Marvel Snap. Thank you.
Just rip off Marvel Snap. But what I really think with Missing Link, to actually talk about Kingdom Hearts for a second, I think a major reason why we're probably not going to see it sooner rather than later is because, like, even in the interview, Nomura's like, yeah, if you want some hints and of what's going to happen in Cage 4, play Missing Link. And if they don't got Cage 4, like, somewhat down, then you can't really have Missing Link. Like, I guess you could have it where, like, if it launches and it just has its own little contained story and doesn't really... I don't know. I feel like Kingdom Hearts just isn't that type of game, Like, a lot of things are just going to inherently be connected.
He could have the story written for both, though.
Right, yeah, no, for sure.
Like Kingdom Hearts 4 doesn't
limited
have to be...
by the other, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Wouldn't it be... You know what would really make people angry? If they debut Star Wars in Missing Link.
That would be ridiculous, honestly.
But now that I said it, you're like, oh, fuck.
I'm kind of scared now, yeah. I'm pretty scared.
They debut Star Wars and Missing Link, dude. That would be so funny. I'd be so...
You just hear like, Roger.
The amount of meltdowning that you would hear on the internet is like... Because you're not just pissing off Kingdom Hearts fans, you're pissing off Star Wars fans. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Yeah. I would straight up be pretty disappointed if they debuted it in the mobile game. Dude,
that would be
I'd
so
be pretty
funny.
sad.
That would be so funny. I'm sorry, Sean.
In the fucking
that would be
gacha
funny.
game.
That would be wild. Well, what if they do it, but it's just like you don't go to Star Wars World, but it's like, oh, here's your Kylo Ren trophy.
It's not even like a full-on place.
Here's your Kylo Ren trophy.
Use your
that
BB-8 trophy.
To +2 to attack.
Okay. The only reason I would ever be like, okay, this is fine, is if it was a Babu Freak trophy.
Dude, Babu.
Then I'm like, okay, you got me.
I'm a member of the Babu Freaks, which is the Babu Freak fan club. I'm the president of the Babu Freaks. You want to join the club? Let me know.
If there was a little Baby Yoda sipping some bone broth trophy.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not mad either.
Dude, it's gonna be the Mando, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just really think it is. I think that's too hot of a property. I think Nomura probably wants to do Return of the Jedi, but he'll go, okay, Mando's cool.
Well, especially because it kind of seems like they're turning on the sequel series a bit. They're like, yeah, it didn't really meet our expectations type thing.
Right. They're like, it was their idea that people didn't like it.
Right. Like, they're definitely turning on it a bit. Even the actors are,
right? Yeah,
I think that it would have to be Mando or something older.
It could be something classic, but I really think it's gonna be Mando. I think that's
Imagine it's Boba Fett.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Imagine it's Boba Fett.
Why? Okay, you got 2 Mandalorians right now that are popular. Why would you take the one everybody hates?
No, it's just because it's bad ending, dude. Yeah. That's what would happen.
How did he get out the Sarlacc pit?
There's like Boba Fett gets eaten up by a wave of darkness or something. Then he gets out. How did he get out?
He's not really a good bounty hunter. Darth Vader did his whole job for him. Sora and Goofy just hate Boba Fett. Donald's like, yeah, he just looks cool. He's not a good character. Just my criticisms of Boba Fett from Sora, Donald, and Goofy.
My one soft spot for Boba Fett is because of Star Wars Battlefront 2 OG, dude.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That dude was OP.
Because you're controlling
a little burst rifle.
Because
it was dope.
You're someone that actually knows how to make a character cool by controlling him, unlike George Lucas.
Yeah.
I
just had a flashback playing Battlefront 2 with Isaiah, our little brother, and we would play this game where I would play as Princess Leia, who's like dog shit, right? And he would play like Darth Maul or General Grievous, and it was basically like tag. Like we would like put on an invincibility cheat code, and then he would just have to like hit me, and it's like pretty obvious because like you fall on the ground when you get hit by a lightsaber, right? And I would just be like trolling him, just like jumping off buildings as soon as he gets to them, or like acting like I'm going to, and so he goes to jump down first. What a good time, dude.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Anyway, we've been rambling for about 42 minutes, and I think maybe 5 of them were Kingdom Hearts related. So
that's true.
Hope you guys enjoyed our little rant here. Not a rant, but just discussion about other things.
Our gamer rant.
Yeah, it was mostly gamer stuff. We talked about FOMO for a little bit, you know. But yeah, expect more of this when we just have no Kingdom Hearts to talk about, because to me, it's better to have an episode come out and connect with you guys a little bit about something else than just try to like talk about the same Kingdom Hearts stuff over and over. Like I was saying this to Jason before the episode. If it's like
pertinent, it's one thing, but
right,
yeah.
But like sometimes, like I see, you know, some Kingdom Hearts tubers out there that just talk about the same thing over and over, and I don't know, I just can't do that. I just can't. And I know, like, we've probably talked about some of this missing link stuff before, but it's been a little bit. I just can't, like, week in and week out go, like, when's missing link coming, you know? Like, and so I'd rather talk to Jason and talk to you guys about other stuff that maybe might interest you or might not. I don't know. If you absolutely hated this, tell us.
Yeah, let us know.
You know? I don't think you will.
Kindly, please.
No, be mean. I want you to step on me.
Yeah, that's why you got to do it kindly. So,
yeah, if you don't do it kindly, I might enjoy it. So think about that when you're about to say something. Think about that when you're about to bully me. All right. I have that shirt that keeps getting advertised to me on Facebook. Don't bully me, I'll come. All right. So don't.
I saw that too,
bro. It follows me everywhere I go, and I don't understand. Like every time I open Facebook, I'll see an ad, and it'll be a shirt that says "Don't bully me, I'll come," and the font is like drippy, like "come." And I'm like, why is this a shirt that I'm being advertised to?
So creative, dude. I can't wait to see somebody wearing that as some kind of con, or
it's gonna be me at Reconnect.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk up to Violent Gamer and wear it. Anyway, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to do the question of the week, which, believe it or not Kingdom Hearts related, guys. So
no.
Strap in. We'll be right back.
This is Richard Epcar. Welcome to the Ansem Report podcast. Come to the darkness.
Welcome back to the Ansem Report podcast. Jason.
Yeah. I think it might be time for the
question of the week. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Aphoroxis. Appreciate you, as always. This week's question of the week, Jason, is from Cheery Theoden. And it says, inspired by Mango taking the wrong bus, which is a story that was told in the Discord. What's the craziest, funniest story you have of getting lost? And I figured this was appropriate because I knew we were going to talk about missing link.
Get it?
Get it? It's lost. We don't know where it is. Anyway, Egg of Dog starts us off with, Personally, I never get lost. I go only where I intend to go, much like Gandalf.
I think he's trying to reference a wizard arrives precisely when he means to.
Yeah, egg is something. SB Crash, Donkey's brother, says, Carissa and I were driving around waiting for our reservation at a restaurant and somehow ended up getting stuck in some sugar sand. I don't know if that's a Florida thing. It's sand and it's hard to get traction in. So we had to call my parents to come help us. My dad and I shoveled enough sand to get some traction. While waiting, a group of what I can only describe as the Goonies showed up and tried to help us get unstuck. My mom thought they were going to kill us while we were on the phone with her. My dad still likes to hold that one over my head, smilers. So is SB describing quicksand?
I think so. Well, I don't know what sugar sand is. It sounds like quicksand to me. Or like quicksand adjacent, but
so
that's crazy.
To
so
me,
you're
it's
telling
like
me the Goonies came out and bailed you out?
Yeah, Sloth from the Goonies specifically lifted his car out of the quicksand.
He deadlifted it out. Romanian deadlift, not even sumo.
There's that, I don't remember what comedian is, but there's that bit about, I was way more scared of quicksand as a kid than I needed to be.
True.
I feel that, but apparently not, because SB got stuck in it.
If you're in Florida, it's a Florida thing.
It's a Florida thing. Corinne Verg says, I was in middle school at the time. One of my best friends and I were some real class troublemakers. We would always make these stripper comics and pass them back and forth, and our teacher would confiscate them among other harmless things. One day we went on a class trip and he intentionally told us the wrong location of where the bus was supposed to pick us all up. Probably illegal in hindsight, LOL, but we were running around like madwomen trying to find the right bus. I guess that's kind of a getting lost story.
What were they going to do? Like leave you behind on purpose? Or they just wanted to freak you out a bit? Like what?
Well, what's a stripper comic?
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
All right. Moving.
Yeah, I don't know.
Follow-up question of the week for Corn.
As a kid.
What's a stripper comic? Tyler.
I was hoping you knew. Like I was thinking, maybe.
I was hoping you knew.
Maybe it's before me, And you were thinking, it was after me.
Right.
Neither of us know.
Yeah, neither of us know what that is. Corn sits right in the middle of us, I think, age-wise.
We just play the penis game, dude, in middle school. Where you just have to keep saying penis louder and louder. It's like chicken.
Okay. I had a business class where we would just sit in the back. Me and three of my friends would sit at the back table and play Monopoly. And the teacher would be like, can you guys pay attention? Be like, well, we're studying business. And then we would just play Monopoly the whole class.
No way.
Swear to God.
They just let you get away with that?
She couldn't stop us. She didn't know what to do.
Oh, wow.
And then my friend Jordan, shout out to Jordan, brought these DBZ minifigs in, and we played DBZ Monopoly. And if you landed on the spot as somebody else, you had to duel, and we'd like roll dice to duel. It was fucking sick, dude. We were studying business.
We're studying business.
Yeah, dude, lots of business got done.
Oh my God.
Tyler Rim says, when I was but a young lad, my mother lost me in the mall. We were in the CD store, if you kids still know what that is. She walked out and realized I wasn't with her. She frantically searched the mall up and down looking for me. Eventually she found me right where she had left me. Like the sociopath I was always meant to be, I merely sat down on the floor and played with my toys, unaware of the ensuing panic. I guess it's more of a story of my mom losing me. I wasn't lost. I was right where I was supposed to be. Everybody's very poetic in this question of the week. Like, what's going on here?
Heck? This is too deep.
Yeah, you guys are getting too deep for me. Kyrie's bro says, what a relevant question. I got lost today at work in the roof. Me and my coworker had some fire alarm cables, and I went into the roof with nothing but my hard hat light crawling, trying to find where we need to pull this cable in. But when I went to leave, I could not find my access hole and spent maybe 20 minutes crawling around this tight-ass roof.
Oh my God,
looking
that
for
sounds
a way out.
Fucking terrifying.
I was starting to think I went to a new dimension. Turned out someone had closed it behind me and moved my ladder. Haha. Jesus Christ.
Bruh.
That's terrifying. I'm claustrophobic, dude. I couldn't handle that shit.
That terrified me.
But that's why I'm not doing that as a job. You know what I mean? Because like, fuck.
Right. Oh my god. I'd like punch a hole in the ceiling to get out, dude. Screw that.
You're just in like in a school, and then your legs just kick down.
Yeah. Like, the kids are all screaming, terrified.
Help me!
But to me, I'm just like, dude, they're not nearly as scared as me right now, dude. Fuck them kids.
Sean says, I got lost in downtown Dayton, Ohio after work. Jesus Christ. Muscle memoried back on the freeway.
There's skinwalkers there,
dude.
Yeah,
no kidding, dude. Muscle memoried back on the freeway home without even realizing it and surprised myself. Not lost, but I drove past my hometown one night after work in Kentucky. A drive I've done many times. By the time I noticed, I was in the main city area and had to turn around. A 20-minute drive back, I completely zoned out while driving. I freaked out when I finally realized what I did because I felt like I went on autopilot. Dude, I've done that.
I've done that too.
Not gone to a new city, but just like been like, you get home and you go, how did I get here?
Yeah.
You know, you just autopilot it. It's crazy.
I have no recollection of anything. I could have ran 80 red lights.
Yeah, dude. I could have ran over somebody.
Okay. That was a joke.
Yeah,
Mr. FBI agent that's listening right now.
But UK Anda says, all who wander are not lost.
Mm.
Thank you, UK Anda.
That's deep.
That's true. Cheery Theoden says, was on a school chaperoned educational trip to Oxford, England over spring break my senior year of high school. Kind of like how middle school classes will often do a trip to DC, except way more bougie and only like 12 kids go each year. Anyway,
Damn.
My soccer coach was one of the chaperones, so naturally he planned a day trip to London to catch a soccer match. We ended up leaving the match a little early to make sure we wouldn't miss the last train back to Oxford, and lucky we did because we got there just in time. And then a couple hours passed and we realized we got on the wrong train. We ended up in like Southport or some shit. Had to take 2 trains, a cab, and a bus to get back to town, and we finally got to our house at like 3 a.m. Just a bunch of clueless, exhausted Americans trying to navigate their way across England in the middle of the night.
Yeah, dude, that's how you get shanked.
Yeah, you don't just hang around the Brits. They're British. Yeah, dude. They'll shank you for
British. There's British cuisine there, dude. My God.
Right. Bangers and mash.
Got gray slop, dude.
Black. What's that shit? Black pudding. Ugh.
Yeah.
British people eat some fucked up shit, bro. They'll be like, "Hey, bruv, I'm having some black pudding with my bangers and mash." And you're like, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck?" Yeah, I just can't. I can't imagine being British. You know, you just laying in bed and your alarm goes off, and it's probably playing God Save the Queen, and you hit snooze and you go, "Oh
yeah,
fuck mate, it's Tuesday, isn't it?" Like you just wake up and that's how you sound. Like, come on, bro. British people aren't real.
When they get home, they stop the accent.
You think so? They're not real, right?
For sure.
Okay, this is unrelated, but how do you feel about Helen Keller?
What?
There's no way Helen Keller's real, right?
Oh, I was like, what the fuck do you mean? How do I feel about Helen Keller? How is there a way to feel about a person?
Like, okay, she's a real person, but there's no way she did everything they're saying she did.
I don't even remember what they said she did.
But she couldn't see, she couldn't hear, and she couldn't speak. How did she write a book?
I don't know, dude. I believe it.
I don't know, man. Did she flew a plane? No way.
Okay, that's cap. Yeah.
She just took a picture in a plane that someone else was flying. Am I right? Like
planes typically have 2 pilots. If she sat in another seat, I could see.
They're like,
see
look,
that.
Helen Keller flew a plane. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and I'm flying planes too. Get out of here. No way.
Yeah, dude. I flew a plane in Microsoft Flight Simulator, dude.
Right. Yeah. Okay, Helen Keller, you're a fraud. Anyway,
Jesus Christ. Everyone's catching strays today.
Alex says, yeah, one time I got lost. Lost in your mom, LMAO. I don't know. I can't think of anything because I never get lost. I'm just that good. Sorry.
Damn. Checkmate.
Checkmate, atheists. Checkmate. Pokemon Trainer J says, I forgot last week. Not enough time to answer. Come on, guys. So I'll firstly add that I agree about the dancers. Fuck them. As for getting lost, way back when Apple was new and map systems were still crap, I put in Houses of Parliament and ended up down in some odd collection of buildings super far away. Then there's the few times when I've caught the train the wrong way and still not realized until a few stations in. I can't imagine taking a train enough to like go the wrong way.
That's like a huge fear that I have, having never been on a train.
I've ridden a train a couple times, but like
if you missed your stop at the train, like you're just fucked. Like you miss out on a bus, no big deal, right? On a train, it's over, bro. Like just ride it all the way back home at this point. You know what I mean? Like
for sure,
you messed up.
Folsey Bear says, MapQuest sent me towards Marquette University instead of University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee when I was touring for grad schools. I didn't end up at a grad school, but it was an option. So I had to ad-lib to get the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee LMAO.
Bruh.
How did MapQuest fuck that up? That's crazy.
It was a different time, dude.
Yeah, different time. Shout out to Folsey in the Midwest, you know what I mean? Midwest
True
boy.
Midwest homie.
Chris McKay says, before I get to this, Chris, I had multiple comments on YouTube asking if you are okay after last week's question of the week. So if you could just let everybody know if you were okay or not. But Chris says, when I was like 15 or something, my dad drove me to Stop and Shop. It's a grocery store, not sure if it's regional, for my first job. He pulled into a fucking Shaw's, different grocery store, looked around and said, "This isn't a Stop and Shop. Rest in peace, Dad. Love you." Classic.
He drove all the way there, pulled in and went, "Wait a second.
This isn't it.
This isn't a beach, it's a bathtub."
All right, we got two more stories, and let me tell you, one is from Billy the Kid Lawrence.
Okay.
And one is from DP Grant, and both are unhinged. So DP Grant says, while studying abroad in Japan around 5 years ago, a group of 7 of us went to Tokyo for a long weekend. The night we were to take our buses back to our host city, my friend and I missed our bus. Our group had been divided into 3 different buses because of tickets. We had no choice but to stay the night in the city and take the bullet train the next morning. We got lost trying to find somewhere to stay, and it took about 3 hours of wandering until we found a manga cafe where we could stay the night.
Oh my God.
How it worked was that for about $50, you could stay the night in your own cubicle-style room, furnished with a computer and luxury gaming chair. They had an extensive collection of manga and porn you could read for free, as well as all you could drink coffee and soda. My friend and I had our rooms next to each other, and before we split, he said, "I'm super stressed from this whole thing, so you may hear me jacking off in my room." I said, "All right," and took a load off as well.
More like he dropped a load.
So here's the thing. That sounds awesome, but is it crazy that, like, to me, I'm like, yo, all you can drink soda? I'm like, yo, a hotel room with all you can drink soda? What the fuck?
Well, no, I don't even think it's really a hotel room. It's just a gamer cafe.
Well, it's a cubicle style room,
right?
So it's like Japanese hotel rooms, which are like fucking pods.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I need to hit up this manga cafe, dude.
Maybe I need to get lost in Japan, dude.
Yeah, maybe. And finally, Billy the Kid Lawrence says, I had a really crazy and funny story, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate for this podcast, LOL. So instead, I will go with something short and sweet. When I was like 6 or 7, I got lost and separated from my mom at the theme park known as Kings Island. After a mild panic in a large crowd, I finally grabbed her hand. I was relieved for a brief second or two until I looked up and realized I had grabbed some random super hot chick's hand instead of my mother's.
Oh, hell yeah, mommy.
The hair from the back threw me off. She was kind about it, and I think she was about to help me out, but then I raced over the way to my family that I'd spotted immediately afterwards. I never saw that lovely woman again. She wasn't my mom, but she was a mommy.
You already know. I'll never forget you, mommy.
Mommy. Anyway, Jason, do you have a story about getting lost?
Not really. Like I've been lost, but with people who kind of knew where we were, if that counts.
Yeah.
Like,
you've never been lost alone.
Yeah, I've never been lost just straight up on my own. I'm pretty good with like directions and just understanding. Okay, like this road is just always gonna be like north and south, and I can just go in that direction until I get to where I kind of know where I am. But like one time, if I wasn't with my friend who somewhat knew where we were, I could never get back. Like I don't know that I could ever have gotten back home. Part of it was because I was inebriated, okay? Like, I had no idea where we were. We were at a party and then got invited to another party. But this party was like the weirdest one I had ever been to. We drive down like a dirt road. Like we're way out in the middle of nowhere. And we're driving down a dirt road, and then we take a turn onto like it's more like a grassy road, like dirt and grass road. And we drive on that for like another 10 minutes. And you see like one driveway, like every, I don't know, like mile maybe, literally. But like you don't ever see a house or anything. It's just more like side roads, dude. Like I could have gotten found and killed by a skinwalker. Like we're in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So then we turned down this other dirt road, which ended up being I ended up figuring out it was their driveway. So we go down that, but then all of a sudden, like we're in the middle of like a forest, but then all of a sudden it like opens way up, and there's like this fucking mansion on a hill, and then like some like westward expansion ass, like they got their wagons all backed up around a campfire, but instead it was a bunch of pickup trucks.
Oh no.
Around the biggest bonfire I've ever seen in my life. They were using pallets. Wait, what? You said
were they naked?
Naked? No. What?
Sometimes people dance naked around bonfires, dude.
It was the biggest bonfire I've ever seen in my life. They're using like shipping sized pallets, but like for like construction equipment. So these are like big ass pallets they have stacked. This shit was probably like 30, 40 feet in the air. It was insane. And I have no idea where the hell I was to this day. Like not even a general area,
what
not even a
Did you
general
leave?
What?
What happened? Did you leave?
I got like really drunk and then randomly I was home. I don't know.
Oh no. Oh no.
That could have gone terribly.
It probably did.
But what was it was actually really cool because there was these two guys that were like giggling, laughing, and they smelled immensely of weed, and they leave. And I'm like, oh, they're probably just gonna go smoke some more weed or some shit, right? Like they run out into this like, it looked like it used to be like some type of field for like vegetables or something, like a cornfield or whatever, but there was nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And they go way out there, and then they come back like 10 minutes later, and I'm like laying in the back of this pickup truck, and I just happen to like lay all the way back down, right? And we're out in the middle of nowhere, so because like we live in a big city, so you don't really see stars very well, but we're out in the middle of nowhere, so I can see them very well. And I'm like, it just looks really nice, and I'm pretty drunk, so I'm just having a good time. And then all of a sudden, a ton of fireworks start going off because these guys went out there, I guess, with a ton of fireworks and then like set them off.
Jesus.
And there was just fireworks shooting for like 10 minutes. Like, I don't know. It made sense because they're in this massive mansion in the middle of nowhere, and everybody's got pretty nice trucks and shit. It makes sense they had a lot of money, but yeah, I was just like, holy cow, dude. Like, what's even going on? Where the hell even am I? Right,
dude. You ended up at like a fucking hillbilly Great Gatsby party.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. It was so weird.
So I actually have two stories. The first one was a long time ago, and the second one's more recent. So there was one point in my life where I worked in Hawaii on a cruise ship. And basically, at one point, I had to there were 3 ships from the company I worked for running in Hawaii, and one was getting shut down. And so I had to transfer to a different one. But the way those ships work is they'd all be at a different island at different times. So the idea was we were going to get on a plane, get off the ship, get on a plane to fly to the other island to get on that boat. But the flight got canceled for some reason. So instead, it was me and like, maybe 20 people that were moving to the ship, and we got put up in like a hotel in downtown Honolulu instead. Which dope, right? I didn't really get a chance to go to Honolulu while working there before that.
Right.
I know like when people picture Hawaii, they picture, like island paradise, right? Which it is. But Honolulu's actually a pretty large city with skyscrapers and there's, bad parts of it, good parts of it. Like it's your typical like large city, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not as big as like Chicago or something like that, but it's big. I'm sitting there and in this hotel room, and I didn't really know the people I transferred with, so it wasn't like, oh, I can go hang out with them or whatever. So I'm like, man, I was just playing Xbox. I was playing Assassin's Creed, the original Assassin's Creed in the hotel room. I remember that actually. And
I hate that game.
Yeah, I was like, man, this game's really fucking boring. Like the concept's cool, but it sucks.
Yeah.
And man, I hope they make a sequel and make it way better, which they did.
True.
And I remember being like, I'm fucking hungry, but like in my head, I was like, I can't get room service. That's too expensive, right?
Right.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense, but I grew up, lower middle class, like never spent a lot of time in hotels or like anything like that.
This happens when you have a ton of siblings, yeah.
And this was before like the cell phone maps thing. Like my phone was this Sprint phone that one side was a phone and one side was an MP3 player, right?
Yeah.
So it was before you could just like look up where there were restaurants, right? And so I was like, I'm just gonna go walk around. So I start walking different directions, and I'm just instantly lost. I realize I don't even remember the name of the hotel I stayed at.
Oh, God.
Like, I was like, oh, I remember what it looks like, and then I'm just instantly lost. So, and I haven't even found food yet. So I'm just wandering around downtown Honolulu, and, whatever, it's fine at first. And then I find a Jack in the Box.
Okay.
Do you know Jack in the Box?
I never had it, but I know of it, yeah.
So it's fine, but I get a bunch of food and I eat, and then, it was unsatisfying, but I'm like, all right, now back to the hotel. No idea where to go. So I just start walking. And I end up by the beach. I walked for 5 hours.
Oh my God.
Before I found my hotel. Because at first I was like, whatever, not all that wander are lost or whatever, LOL. I was like, I'm just walking around. But my ass got lost, dude.
Oh,
I was so pissed at myself. But I ended up finding my way back. Not a great ending to that story, but a story. So this second story is more recent. Tara and I, for the last couple of years, and historically, have gone to this music festival in Chicago called Riot Fest. And not this past Riot Fest, but the year before, we were waiting to get on the train after one night of the fest, which is a nightmare. Because we would stay in the middle of the city, and Riot Fest is it's not outside the city, but it's outside of the downtown area, right?
Yeah.
And so everybody's trying to go that way, and so there's people shoving and pushing to get on these trains, and it's a nightmare. And it's me and Tara and two of our friends, and I'm trying to keep everybody safe as I do. And, there's douchebags just pushing women out of the way. And it's just like, oh, this sucks. But then we realized what people were doing is they were getting on the train going the other way. And then getting off 2 stops later and getting on the train going the right way. So they were beating all the people that were waiting at the specific platform by the fest, right?
Right.
So at first I was like, we're not fucking doing that. That's fuck that. You know what I mean? I was like, that some part of like
that's doing too much.
Well, my honor. Like, oh, that's sketchy. We can't stoop to their level. But then eventually I go, all right, fuck it, let's get on, right? So we get on going the other way. We take 3 stops and then get off. And we're like, cool, we're going to get on this train by ourselves. And then when people get on, we'll have seats. Like, it won't be a big deal. We'll get back into town. So we're sitting there, and the train doesn't come as quickly as you'd expect it to. And I was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. Did we fuck up? Because we're in like an area of Chicago that's not great if we get off this train stop, right?
Yeah.
And sure enough, we hear over the intercom, the pink line has been delayed. Or, no, it wasn't delayed. It's been postponed indefinitely. We're like, what
God.
the fuck? So what had happened minutes after we left the stop is some guy got pushed onto the track and died.
Oh my God.
Because those tracks are electric, and if you touch them, you will get electrocuted and die. Okay.
Holy shit.
So this guy got shoved onto the track and died. So they stopped running the train. Which
that's insane.
Thank God we weren't there, because I don't want to fucking see that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
It's really sad for that guy, obviously, but it's like, I don't want to see someone get fried. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's a blessing that we left, but then at the same time, the CTA worker came over, and she was just like, yeah, so we want to get you guys back to where you're supposed to go. What you're going to do is you're just going to walk down to this bus stop, and then you get on that bus, and they'll take you to the red line, and then the red line will take you guys back to downtown. And we were like, what way do we go? And she was just very unhelpful. So...
Right, she just wanted to be done with it after talking to you.
Right,
yeah.
so Tara and our other friend had befriended these two people that had the same idea we did, this couple. So we all go to this bus stop, and there ain't nothing coming.
Like, might as well walk as a group type thing.
Right. But there ain't nothing coming. And this girl says she's from Chicago, so she says, hey, follow her. I know of a better way. And we're like, okay. And I was like, I don't want to do this, but everybody else said sure. So I'm like, I'm not going to stay here. So we walked for an hour to this other bus stop. And we're like, there's like, it's like one of the worst parts of Chicago. There's like fucking garbage everywhere. It smells like piss. Like, Tara has to pee the whole time, you know, as she does.
Of course, yeah. And that always happens at the worst time.
Right. And so we're just walking. And we get to this bus stop. And I'm like, I feel like these people are taking us out here to kill us. You know what I mean? Like, we've been walking for so long. So we get to the bus stop, and there's a enclosed bench, and then there's a bench like 5 feet from it. And I go sit on the bench outside of the enclosure, and Tara comes over to me and she goes, hey, that girl said you shouldn't sit there unless you want to die. And I said, what?
Shit.
And she says, this is a really bad neighborhood, so you shouldn't sit there unless you want to die. I go, what, are there fucking snipers? Like, what do you mean?
Like, people will see you and come over.
I know, but it's like, wait, I'm just going to die from sitting on this bench? So anyway, I get in the enclosure with everybody, and I asked the girl, I go, hey, so, because the idea is we're taking a bus that's going to go straight downtown. That's why we went to this bus stop. And I say, hey, how long does this bus take? And she goes, an hour. It's fucking midnight, Jason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, hold on. I'm not waiting an hour on this bus. I go, let's get an Uber. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I don't care how much it costs.
Well, it's been an hour, so it's like Ubers are going to be kind of cleared up at this point, rather than getting
we're so
Uber
far
right
away
away.
from the festival at this point, because we took the train 3 stops out and then walked an hour.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We get an Uber and it's like $60 or something, and I'm like, I don't even care, right?
Well, I'd pay any amount.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we get in this Uber, and it's this Korean guy, and he's got like the headband on, like the sushi headband on.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Where, like with the like rising sun on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's talking to us, and he's like, "Man, what were you guys doing out here? Is there's like some bar or something?" And we're like, "No, we just got lost." He goes, "Oh man, good thing I came and got you guys." Because I was about to hang it up for the night, and there was no one else.
Oh, jeez.
And we were like, oh, because at this point, I didn't mention this, but the couple got on the bus and the couple got on the bus.
And you guys already had
we'd already had the Uber, so we were like, fuck that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
because you're gonna get charged if you cancel.
Right. So we were just like, oh shit. But he was a super nice guy, and he was just talking to us for a long time. But it was like, we were in trouble if we would have stayed out there. And between that and then my most recent like craziness in Chicago I had this past year, which is a whole nother deal. Not getting lost, just a nightmare.
Being awful.
I just do not like the city of Chicago. I'm sorry, V. I don't like Chicago. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's not good. Okay? And I'll fight anybody that says different.
Never had anything that bad happen to me in Chicago, but it's just a big city. I don't really like big cities. Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't like big cities. I don't want to live in a big city. I'm sure New York is just as bad. I've been there like once. Detroit's fine, but Detroit doesn't feel as big of a city to me because I only go to certain parts of Detroit, I guess.
Yeah, we go to more like the suburbs of it. Yeah.
Or like straight downtown where like the sports
highway's
fields
literally
are.
right there. Yeah.
Those are my 2 getting lost stories. Sorry if that was long, but we asked ourselves to answer this question, so here we are. Next week's question of the week, Jason. I have one that's not a suggestion. Are you ready for it?
Okay.
Ooh, wait. I'm torn because I just read Kyrie's Bros, and that kind of leans in to what we did today. Yeah, you know what? We'll do this one this week, and then I'll do my other one next week because it's more Christmas related.
Okay.
Kyrie's Bros question of the week suggestion. Kind of crazy one. What if Mike and Jason never played Kingdom Hearts? What game would they podcast about and why?
Okay. I like that.
So that's what the question of the week is next week. And then the week after, we will have a specific Kingdom Hearts one that's about Christmas. So get your brains rolling on that one. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. I know this wasn't our typical podcast today, but sometimes we just got to send it,
Yeah, true.
And if you guys really hated it, let us know, and then we'll come up with something different to do if the next time we run out of Kingdom Hearts things to talk about. Because, I can't imagine you guys will hate it, but you never know. You have anything to say about that, Jay?
No, not really, no. I mean, like, it just is what it is,
You're right.
we have a good time doing it, and
yeah, we just like chatting with each other about shit,
We hope you enjoy it. Because, I mean, the alternative is just we don't do an episode of the podcast. Let me just pull some shit out of my ass. Or we just, like, do the same topics over and over.
Right, yeah. So, I still want to know if people like this version of the podcast or not. I still want to know.
Yeah, for sure.
Because to me, if people don't like it, then we'll figure out something else. Or to Jason's point, we'll just only do the Ansem report when we have something to talk about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I mean, I guess, we could prepare a little more earlier in the week for what we could talk about, right?
Yeah, we could have, like, things where we're, like, having to go and do, like, a deep dive on something,
right.
I guess.
That's a lot of fucking work, guys.
It's true.
That's a lot of work. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We will see you all next week for episode 28. Jason, hit him with it.
May your heart be your guiding key.
Thank you.
Now fuck off.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 27 of the longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast, The Ansem Report. Thank you for listening and watching. Shout out to our boys at Metal Vista Media, Fabio and Jesse, the goats, for Radiant Garden, our theme. We love it. I listen to it when I go to sleep. I listen to it when I'm in the shower. I listen to it when I take a poop. I listen to it when I drive. I listen to it when I mow the lawn. I listen to it when I shovel snow. I listen to it all the time, not just on the podcast, because it's the Juice theme. But thank you guys for that. Also, Jason, we have some people to thank on Patreon. Are you aware of this, that we have a Patreon?
Yeah, dude. I don't know why you ask me every fucking time. I know we have a Patreon. I'm fucking on it.
All right, so Jason is aware we have a Patreon. What he might not be aware of is that people give us money every month, and we're going to read their names off. Jason, why don't you get us started?
Famous for nothing.
Nesquick 502.
Billy the Kid Lawrence.
Corinne Verg.
Dr. Lambic.
DP Grant.
SB Cat.
Gavin Dotson.
Iron Aggro.
Iron Daddy Sean.
It's your boy, Woody.
Lisa S.
Mr. Trumpeter 711.
Swarls Barkley.
Water Cage.
Zach P.
Pokemon Trainer J.
Elbow Juice.
Panda Love.
Frank Verg.
Fabio the Iguana.
Unholy Dolphin.
Beatus.
What's up, Carl?
Lands of Masters.
Regular Pat YT.
Get Roxel.
Jip 214.
Warning.
Armandito.
Librarian Gamer.
Kyrie's Bro.
Afro Roxas.
Dick Butt 23.
Travis Town Jr.
Chene.
Phil Games.
Strawberry Mango.
Dick Butt Dickbutt24.
Shout out to Dickbutt24, our newest patron. I appreciate.
You're breeding.
Yeah, the Dickbutts are breeding. Oh my God. Oh, that is commitment to a bit. Thank you, Dickbutt24. Thank you to everybody who is a member of our patronage. At patreon.com/Super SpikeGhetti Bros. We appreciate you. Jason, can we watch Avengers this week?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know how to say we will because I feel like I've said that multiple times, but we will watch Avengers this week. The SpikeGhetti Bros will return in Avengers. Thank you guys. We love you. Bye.